All right, black women are showing up at sperm banks looking for black sperm donors. They want a black baby. The problem is there's a severe shortage and they literally are having to pick sperm of folk from other races. According to the Genetic Literacy Project, only 1,000 applicants of all races make it through the screening process, which also attributes to the black donor shortage. Less than 2% of black sperm donors are specimens in the nation's 4 largest cryobanks. Dr. Tiffanny Jones is a reproductive endocrinology and infertility specialist. She joins us now from Dallas. Tiffanny, glad to have you here. I mean, it's one of those things, I mean, you just don't think about. You know, there are people out there and people just think that, you know, folks, they get pregnant, that they have children, but there are people who actually go to sperm banks. But 2%, so in the nation, 2% of all available sperm donors are black?
Yeah, that's a scary statistic, but it's very true. It's very hard to recruit African-American donors, and black women aren't the only women who want to use black donors. And so with
now give me an idea of, do we have a percentage of how many black, of the people who go on to sperm banks, how many are black women?
I would say from my patient population, probably at least 40% of them.
So you got 40% of folks, again, you're paid, 40% are black women. The availability is 2% black sperm donors.
Absolutely.
Wow. And you were making the point that women of other races want a black sperm donor.
Absolutely.
All right, first of all, now how does that work? Meaning, if you get a black sperm donor, does that sperm only go to one person or can it be split up?
Yeah, so when a donor makes a deposit, the sperm that they give can potentially be used for many vials of sperm, and one insemination would take 1 vial. So if they had 10 vials, that can go potentially for 10 different women, or for less women if they acquire more vials for themselves.
Now, what's the issue in terms of lack of donors? Is it, I mean, first of all, I don't know. Are people paid to be sperm donors? Is that part of the problem? Is the pay too damn low? Or is it just, or is there no outreach? Is there no campaign to target people?
Well, it's multifactorial. I think for us being black people, we know that there's a stigma for black males, and I think asking someone to be a donor may be a little contradictory to how we feel about families, or the stigma that we put on black males is they don't want to take care of their family, but then on the other hand, you're asking them to be donors. Yes, donors are paid, and they're paid very little. On average, it's about $65 for a donation, compared to an egg donor who might get $5,000 to $10,000.
Whoa. $65? And you said an egg donor may get 5 to 10 grand? Okay.
Yeah. Well, what goes into it is how much effort it takes to donate sperm. It's very minimal effort, whereas someone who's donating eggs has to do a month-long process, undergo a surgical procedure. So it's really compensating for the time spent to donate those eggs.
Oh no, I mean I get that, but hell, if you got a 2%, if all you got is 2%, you might have to jack the pay up to get
Absolutely.
more. I mean, hell, imagine if you go from 65 to 250.
Absolutely, there is a supply and demand, and black donors are definitely in demand. So a higher donation to them will probably be
all right,
better.
hold on. So let me. Okay, this is my last question before I go to the panel. All right. So they get paid $65. Woman comes in and she wants a sperm donor. How much she got to pay for the sperm?
$1,200.
Hold up. See right there. See now we got a problem. She got to pay $1,200, and all he getting is $65.
So the sperm banks do have to do a lot of testing and background work for the screening process to make sure their safety FDA regulations are followed, physical exams. So I do think there's a great disparity between how much it costs and how much someone is given for that donation. And that definitely can be made a little bit better, but I don't want to make it seem like sperm banks don't have to do a lot of work.
Oh, no, man, I get that. But again, you said supply and demand. And so, hell, this ain't no different than folk out there saying we can't hire workers. Well, you might have to increase your pay and your benefits to hire workers. And so you want more black sperm donors, you got to put some more money on the table.
Unfortunately, that usually translates to making black women pay more for donor sperm.
But the problem is, ain't that many black men to choose from. So something gonna have to happen.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see here. Michael, you first. What's your question for Tiffanny?
I knew you were going to come to me first, Roland. I knew you were going to come to me first.
Well, you look like you were hauled up to ask a question.
No. Look, Dr. Tiffanny, thanks for coming on and sharing this information with you. I did not know that the issue was this pertinent, that the disparity existed. I saw an article from October 20th from the Washington Post dealing with this topic. I was wondering, are African-American advertising agencies being utilized to craft messages specifically targeting African-American men, trying to recruit them to be sperm donors? Because there could be a lot of...
They're only paying $65.
because there could be a lot of in our community, there may be a lot of apprehension behind that. Reading information from your website, it talked about apprehension when it comes to medical research involving African Americans, things like this. So can you shed any light on that, please?
Yeah, so I would say that using specifically African American marketing agencies is likely not happening. I don't think that people approach us in the way that we need to be approached. Sometimes you use an agency and they're using these urban videos with rap songs or something that they think is going to be something that we would want to hear, but that's not us. So yeah, using a marketing agency that is from us, by us, or us deciding to make our own sperm bank might be something that is needed, as this study or this article has identified.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's see here. Matt, what you got?
Well, Dr. Tiffanny, what really stuck out to me when I read about this was the fact that one of the screening, criteria is that you can't have a felony conviction. And the reason I ask that is, I can see theoretically DNA concerns about matches and that kind of thing, and maybe that's the genesis. But if it's purely genetic, what would be the reason behind not allowing somebody that has something completely unrelated to their genes, prevent them from being a sperm donor? And what is your thoughts on the aggregate effect of that in terms of the pool of people that might otherwise be available?
Well, I would say that, being an African American woman, if I wanted to choose a donor, that might play a role also in what I want. Like, do I want my child to be in a gene pool of someone that was convicted from a felony? Probably not, so I don't know what exactly went into making that. It could have been to screen, so there are fewer African American donors. But I can say on the flip side, all the things that are screened, women want to know. And just because there's a shortage doesn't mean they want to choose things or characteristics that they may not want to come out if there is a genetic link in a child.
All right.
I get that part. Can I ask a follow-up, Roland? I'm sorry.
All right, come on, man. Come on. I'm trying to get out of here. Come on.
I know. I get that part. But what I don't understand is presumably the donors actually sign away all rights and everything, right? And it's all blind. So beyond the situation where you have a genetic link with someone who's actually been convicted, I mean, wouldn't that be a way to significantly potentially increase those numbers? And, what are the chances genetically, if you have any way of saying that, of that even happening? I mean, it seems like that is keeping out a very large percentage of people who might otherwise be helpful to this cause.
Yeah, so the one thing I would say is anonymity is really gone to the wayside with genetic testing. Everyone or a lot of people do 23andMe. felony convictions sometimes do come with a DNA test. A child could find donor siblings and therefore find the donor. So I think we have to be very careful when you talk about things that are being like de-identified or blinded or an anonymous donor, because anonymity really isn't there.
Gotcha.
Tonight, what's up?
Dr. Tiffanny, I know that Black women within the ages of 35 to 45 are more unlikely than any other racial group to get married, meaning that they have to rely heavily upon these cryobanks in order to provide support with being able to have children. So I would love for you to be able to speak about the prospects of the population pool for the Black community moving forward, given this fact.
Yeah, I see a lot of women who are moving towards being single mothers by choice because the statistics are staggering. We are single, unmarried. Age is a factor in fertility. So when you get into that age group of the 35 to 40, we will have to make tough choices or forego our fertility. Egg freezing also has now offered a really big advantage to us because we can delay things longer and maybe wait it out. But there is a big disproportion for men. I just had a beautiful woman in my office today. And I'm like, girl, what's going on? And she's like, where the man at? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. She's like, you know somebody? No. Okay. And I'm keeping my man just because I don't want to be out there with y'all.
That's real.
All right, then. All right. Well, Doc, we appreciate it. Again, this is one of those stories that people don't think about until you actually might be in that position and you need it. So we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
We are in sunny South Dallas. The election is coming up. It's super important that folks know who they are voting for, but more importantly, what they are voting for. Y'all, we got the free shirts and free lunch right over here.
Freedom is our birthright. No matter what we're up against, we're sending a message in Dallas and Texas and in the country. We won't back down. That's what this bus tour is all about.
The housing cost is one of the most capitalized areas that we have found. People who are marginalized, that are brown and Black, we are suffering the most, and I think that we have the biggest vote and the biggest impact in this election.
I'm voting for affordable housing, for sure.
We should not be paying the cost of a utility failure because our elected officials are too proud to say we need help.
I know that we can bring out our people to vote. It's a part of our birthright. Right. It's a part of our heritage, and surely it's a part of our present and part of our future.
That's right. That's what's up. And we won't black down. Forward that message to 5 friends, because in that message, it's got links to how to get registered, how to check your registration status.
Like I said, 2:30 we'll start rendezvousing right here on this street. I am voting to let our voice be heard in the rural communities that, hey, we are people too. There are things that we need.
Free shirts, free food, and lots of power.
We are in Longview, Texas, where Black Voters Matter, 365.
Whatever type of oppression a white supremacist throws our way, we will not black down. We are in relentless pursuit of liberation of our people.
Freedom is liberation for Black bodies and Black communities to make economic change through political power.
Freedom is choice.
We won't black down.
We won't black down.
We won't black down, y'all.
We won't black down.
We won't black down.
We won't black down.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay Black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?